Hey guys, what is going on? Back here in front of a camera, going to be talking about something that I was very nervous about, and you'll understand why. And I'm going to kind of go through this because the last time I tried doing this video came out to be 20 minutes. It's too long. So before I begin, just want everyone to know this is my opinion. That's it. If you disagree with me, that's fine. If you agree with me, that's fine too. Just understand this is all my opinion. I'm just one guy. I'm not looking to start any arguments. So if you disagree with where I'm coming from, that's fine. But understand that when it comes to the topic of the PlayStation Classic, like I remember the day I got my original PlayStation, the first games I got for it, and all the time put into it. So I feel like I have a pretty good handle on this. With some exception, like I never really got into a lot of the more obscure games until I got a little older. So with that being said, let's get into it because it was announced on IGN that Sony has released the rest of the lineup for the PlayStation Classic. The PlayStation Classic is essentially what Nintendo did with their NES and Super Nintendo. They released a mini version of it, loaded roughly 20 different ROMs into the thing, and you take it home, you play it on your HDMI TV, and there you go. All the discounted price. And yes, for all those, like I looked up the numbers on both of those. I believe the NES Classic, you saved several $100s, and on the Super Nintendo Classic, we're actually in the market of between $700 and $800 you are saving just by getting that and not all the games. And I can't put a price on Star Fox 2 because that game has never seen the light of day. So when Sony announced they were going to do this, I was like, okay, Sony, this is your chance to really kind of hit them with a lot of big names. And everyone was like swinging for the fences on this because everybody wants this to succeed. Sony, again, I grew up with the Sony. I remember more about the original PlayStation 1 than I do ever owning a Nintendo. The only one that would be comparable would be the Sega Genesis. They've already released several versions of it. I have mixed feelings on it only because the ones that actually play games actually have a tendency to destroy or break cartridge games. So with that being said, I'm going to go through the list really quick, and then I'm going to get into where I'm coming from. So here's the official list from Sony. It was released today, October 29th. 20 games that live up to the classic billing written by IGN with seminal games from the middle. Okay. All right. Here are the games. Battle Arena Toshinden, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII, Grand Theft Auto, Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld's Abe's Odyssey. I always mix those up. Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. So that's the game list. $100. Put in your pre-order now if you want. I know GameStop is still taking them. Just remember that the controllers are not analog unless they make some serious design choices. But based on the images that we're getting from IGN, no. Nope, they are not analog. So Metal Gear Solid is probably going to be reformatted to play with a directional. I don't exactly remember 100% how the game handles on analog. I know it's heavily relied on it because of how stealthy you have to be. So that one's a big, I don't know what, that one's a big, but I'm also an advocate that they have the option to change it. So Metal Gear Solid, great game. I'm gonna err on that side of this because a lot of the suggestions I'm gonna name later are gonna be a little dependent on on the analog. So they're gonna reformat it obviously to work on the directional. I can tell you right now there's a bunch of games on this list I can get rid of. A bunch. Battle Arena Toshinden, a fighter that no one talks about. They could have done better. Cool Borders 2 stays. That's really fun. I would have taken that or the third one. Destruction Derby, gone. Gimmicky racing game. It's fun. It's fun in very confined places. I remember playing it with my brothers. It's fun, but honestly, long term, it has none. It's the whole premise is a racing type game or just flat out destruction derby. Who can damage whoever's car the quickest? Again, it's a gimmicky game that relies heavily on the concept of destruction derby type racing, and it's me personally, it's just not a lot of fun in the long run. Mr. Driller, I can do without. Oddworld, I don't know too much about it, but I'll leave it. Rayman, classic. Resident Evil Director's Cut, I personally, I don't know. I would have either done this or I would have done Nemesis. Because Sony's going to be releasing Resident Evil 2, the remake, and it looks really promising. Ridge Racer Type 4, no, Ridge Racer to me was always better, the more arcadey style, back in like the roller rings and you know, the pool halls. I wasn't a fan of it when it transitioned over into the PlayStation series. Puzzle Fighter, no. If you're gonna do a puzzle game, just no. Don't put gimmicky puzzle games on this. No, just don't. I mean, the Nintendo can probably get away with doing something like that because, like Tetris Sphere, in my opinion, was a little too complicated to get. Like, do Pokemon Puzzle Fighter League or whatever on the N64 Classic when that gets released and with the game list. Siphon Filter, okay. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, gone. It just, to me, the original PlayStation could not handle what the series wanted to do, and it wasn't until it went to the PlayStation 2 it could do better. Twisted Metal, I would have liked to see a sequel only because 2 or 3, and I believe 4. It was 4? Yes, 4 was also. I would have seen 2, 3, or 4 on it, honestly, because it had more characters, more play modes, more options. So those were the I can like the ones I just said, gone, get them out of here. Couldn't get rid of. Intelligent Cube, I really know nothing about. Jumping Flash, just why? It's again, it's a gimmicky J-pop first-person shooter where you're a bunny, and it's a really short one. Like, don't expect a long game. Revelations Persona is the big one here. That one, I actually looked that one up. I believe that one's the most expensive out of this whole thing. Loose, it looks like it's going for a cool $70, which is cool. Atlas put out some amazing RPGs, and this one will be very well accepted. But here's my question. With everything Nintendo has thrown at us, and blame what you want on the scalpers and the evil resellers, they're not the ones that made those consoles that expensive. And they came back and met demand and re-released both of these when people were like, they're not going to have enough. And you can still buy them. Although the NES, I believe, the NES Classic it's getting toward the end of its distribution line, at least in a few retailers. I think GameStop is one of them. Here's my question. When Nintendo releases their game list and every single title on them is a hit, I mean, there's a few on the NES Classic that you could have been like, I can do without. Like, who needs Excitebike? That's different. Like, they were trying to put a couple filler games on there, but the rest were just like gold, like Punch-Out, the Zelda series, Kirby, Metroid, Mario, the list goes on. And then Super Nintendo Classic comes out, and then you got Super Mario RPG, Castlevania 4, Super Punch-Out, the Kirby series, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana was on there. Earthbound, Star Fox 2, a game that had never seen the light of day, like, and that was on $80. Like, it felt like every single heavy hitter on the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo Classic was a heavy hitter, and the value was astronomically awesome compared to how much it would be to go out and buy everything in the cartridge and the console and bring it all home. So when I heard that Sony was doing this, my question to them, and here's my question, why not throw your big heavy hitters in there? I mean, yeah, your Persona Revelations Persona, yeah, that's cool. But I'm going to list off some games that could have easily been on here and replace a lot of these, and I can tell you right now, Like, no Lunar series? None? Okay, fine. You got Persona on there. You got Wild Arms. You know, cool. But here are just some games I looked up on their greatest hits list. This is just the greatest hits. These are games that were available in 2 rounds of circulation. Major circulation. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now, I can understand there. The reason they're not doing that is because they're going to be releasing that and I think it's Rondo of Blood as part of a package deal for the PlayStation 4 for $15. So maybe that's why it's not on there. Fine. Chrono Cross. Underrated RPG. Why not? And for people who are like, that's too many RPGs. I disagree. I think the PlayStation was home to the RPGs. Say what you like. Nintendo had great RPGs. Sony, when you go back and you look at some of the bigger like a lot of the cooler, more obscure RPGs, their home was on the original PlayStation. Breath of Fire. You know, Legend of Dragoon. I have that on here next. Where are all these? Crash Team Racing. That could have been your substitute. Why not put Crash Team Racing on there over Ridge Racer? Dave Mirra BMX. There's your extreme game. Mega Man X4, Mega Man Legends. Why not throw one of them on there? I would have been content with Mega Man X4. Digimon World. Dino Crisis. And then these are just games I wrote down. This, again, greatest hits list. They could have loaded this thing with heavy hitters, and that $100 price point no one would have given second guess to it. And that's what they should have done. That $100 price point should have been something that no one thought about. This should have been the minute this set list came out, or the game list came out, people should have been flocking to pre-order this. I have seen more people hesitate to want to pre-order this than the other two. And that's a fact. Okay, going on. Dino Crisis, Driver, Parasite Eve, the Namco Museum. If you're going to do gimmicky games, just put a compilation game on there with all of them. Don't remember just putting just Mr. Driller. No, just put Namco Museum on there and call it a day. Okay? You could still buy those games like $2 brand new. Okay? Silent Hill, Gran Turismo, Soul Blade, Spider-Man, one of the SmackDown games, Xenosaga, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Vagrant Story, X-Men Mutant Academy, Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, an obscure fighter, but it's a Dragon Ball game and people can't get enough of them, Ape Escape, Legacy of Kain, Mortal Kombat 4 or Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Those were just games I pulled off the greatest hits list. They were in several rounds of major circulation because of how popular they are. And none of them are on this. But it's okay, because you're going to get Battle Arena, Destruction Derby, Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Mr. Driller, Ridge Racer, Puzzle Fighter, Siphon Filter, Rainbow Six, and the original Twisted Metal. One or two of those I could see maybe being on here if they had a sequel, or maybe if I had a better opinion on them. But then the list I just named off of games that are not on here, give me a reason why they're not on there. There should have been no question that this thing, when it came out with $100 without a power source, you can go out and buy an adapter for USB and plug it in. That's fantastic. You shouldn't have to do that. People want to talk crap about Nintendo. Oh, and they're gimmicky. They're so gimmicky. That's gimmicky. Their last one, they released something worth almost $1,000 in total value, and then re-release it in circulation in major retailers so that the online prices could drop. They're gimmicky. They're selling you games that are requiring you to have the analog stick, which they don't have, a power source that they don't include. But if you want to go out and spend another $5, $10, $15 on the USB to wall adapter, that's on you. And I'd say over a third of the games on here which they could have done better on. 20 games? No, this should have been like 25, 30 games. And seriously, pack it with heavy hitters, sell it out there. These are ROMs. These are not the physical games. There's no reason not to do this. If they would have listed those games I had, at least several of them, they could have done better. If they would have announced the Adventures of Tronbot on there, this thing would have been sold. But they relied on Revelations Persona, and I'm not talking trash on that, because honestly, I've never really played too much of the Persona series except for the 5th game. And it's great. And I'm sure this is good too. I'm just saying, there should have been no question that this sells itself upon release. Sony, I love you, but you knowingly and willingly pumped the brakes when you should have been swinging for the fences. This should have been your chance to make anything that Nintendo has done seem like a joke to you. You should have put your best, your brightest, your biggest heavy hitters on here, no questions asked. And to me, it feels like a big handful of these people are gonna automatically toss out. I can tell you right now, people are probably only going to be playing this game. Excuse me. People are only going to be playing this thing for a few of the games. Some of these are probably never going to get seen the light of day. And the other issue I'm having is that the vast majority of these games are already super cheap, super accessible, and a lot of serious collectors already own these. So that's my issue. Now, with that being said, let me know what you think in the comments below. Guys, I really, really didn't want to hate on this. I had posted on Facebook, my personal Facebook wall, several Facebook groups. I've spoken highly of it. I wanted to I really did. The PlayStation 1 is one of my favorite systems of all time. It is so awesome. Like, I remember getting it when I graduated from elementary to middle school, and the hours of Tony Hawk Pro Skater not being on this is a crime. Okay? That's a crime. And I don't want to hear any bullshit about how they have licensing problems. No, fuck that. No, there's a reason why you outsell the Xbox One constantly, and you were the #1 selling console for a long time. Don't give me that line of bull. Put the money out there to get the rights to these. Work with some of these. I don't want to hear it. Nintendo. This is why Nintendo, in my opinion, is gonna hit you every single time where it counts, because they own all of their licenses and they don't play this nonsense. My goodness, I didn't expect to get this heated about it. Unbelievable. So that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Guys, I didn't want to be negative. I didn't, but I am not sold on this. And if you saw this list or you heard me reading it and you're like, Eric, bro, you're wrong. This is great. That's cool. I'm not stopping you. Go pre-order it, enjoy it, have fun with it. But me personally, this should have been the grand slam. This should have been the system that embarrasses what Nintendo has done. Because Sony is aware of this. They know that the N64 Classic is on the way. And I guarantee you, when we get information on that, I will be making a video. And I guarantee you, like, the first 4 or 5 games that I mentioned are automatically going to sell that thing. Because Nintendo knows how to package their bundle deals. And for anyone argues, you can just buy the ROMs for free. Yes, you can. But then you have to set it up. So here's my task to you. For all you computer illiterate people like myself, go and get the ROMs, set it up yourself. You tell me how easy it is. I'm sure after like a couple of days, you'll figure it out. And then you gotta hope, your computer can run it, which to my knowledge, as long as you don't have an Ancient of Days computer, should be fine. And if that's your route you want to do, fine. I'm not hating on people who like it. I'm not hating on the PC Master Race. I'm just saying, as a Sony fan who loves to collect things Sony and who really pushes for Sony, this one was a massive disappointment on all levels, and I wanted more. So that's going to do it for me. I hit the 20-minute mark again, but I'm a little happier with this one. So, again, let me know in your comments below. Let's be respectful. Guys, I gave it a shot. I'm going with my gut feeling on this. If it turns out, I'm gonna call right now. I'm not overly impressed. I wanted to see more. Sorry. So that's gonna do it for me. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and let me know if there's something you want me to talk about on this channel. I'm trying to figure out another format again. I really don't know what I want to do. Now that Hope is getting bigger, it's just becoming a lot more challenging to really know what I want to do. Like, I like doing my audio editorials, and I like doing these kind of things. So if there's something you want me to talk about, let me know before in the comments below. And then, of course, there's the podcast. If there's something you want to hear in a podcast discussion, let me know. All right, that's going to do it. Keeping it under 20-minute mark, and you all have a wonderful Monday.